नमस्कार, मैं अशोक व्यास हूँ और इस कार्यक्रम में हम हर तरह के विषय पर ध्यान देते हैं। किस तरह से हमारा चिंतन चल रहा है, उसमें दिल्ली क्या भूमिका निभा रही है और दिल्ली के जो चुनाव परिणाम हाल ही में विधानसभा के आए हैं, उससे कुछ लोग चौंक गए और कुछ लोग बहुत खुश हो गए। कहीं उत्सव मनाए गए, कहीं मातम मनाया गया। पर इस सब के चलते जो भारत की राजनीति है और उसमें जो भूमिका भारत की राजधानी निभाती है, उसमें क्या परिवर्तन आने वाला है? क्यों हम वहाँ पहुँचे जहाँ पहुँचे? आम आदमी पार्टी का क्या भविष्य? भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इसमें क्या कुछ पढ़ना चाहिए? और कांग्रेस की चर्चा भी हम शून्य के साथ करने वाले हैं, डॉक्टर सुधीर बिष्ट के साथ। आपका स्वागत, नमस्कार।
नमस्कार जी, अशोक जी।
Sudhir, we discussed about this now and then, but when finally you saw the results, was in alignment with your anticipation?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Ashok ji, for hosting me. It's always a pleasure. Yes, as I had written in my earlier columns also, which was received very well, I had said that BJP is in with a chance. And my own estimate was I didn't do any research, but I used some scholars and we did a what is called a very preliminary survey. I thought that there was some resentment against Arvind Kejriwal, but it was not a huge resentment. So I had thought that BJP is in with a chance if middle class came to vote in droves. Because let me tell you, Nirmala Sitharaman's budget speech turned it in the favor of BJP for the middle class. So, but I had thought if the voting is around 70%, then BJP is in with a chance. So, although the voting was not up to 70%, it was much less, around 60, 61%. And yet BJP won. So, I knew directionally it was not one way traffic, but then the magnitude of the victory, it was a shock, to
So
be
let me
honest.
let
Yeah.
me look at the point which you made, and many analysts have talked about the budget which was given, and that also is considered to be pro middle class budget overall. Now, if you think and look at the overall political dynamics, is it a fair play that the central government fine tunes the outcome of a state election through the budget proposals, or you see it as a political thing that happened, this happened, just a coincidence that two happen to have a different color as a result?
See, to be very honest, middle class deserved this budget. It came a long time waiting, if you ask me. See, middle class has constantly supported. In middle class is the backbone of India. All the boys and girls who are sweating it out in Bengaluru and Gurgaon, all the young guys who are working in factories. I mean, it's been quite a while that they got something to smile about. Let's be honest about it. When the petrol diesel prices all over the world were going southwards, there was not much depreciation in the prices of petroleum products. And so middle class needed a break. I thought it will be very unfair to say that it was a political ploy to come with this kind of. You see, budget has to be released on a particular date, so you can't you
Okay.
can't change the date
Yeah.
of a budget.
Yeah.
So
So
I
you are not.
I
Yeah. You.
can't
So
draw
you are.
any correlation. It was not a deliberate attempt, but yes, every party plays to its strength. Right now, the government is much buoyant in terms of the GST collections. See, Ashokji, you have to realize Nirmala Sitharaman, whatever you tell her, and I can find 25 faults with her, she has managed the fiscal deficit very, very well. I will rate her as a very fine finance minister from the economical point of view, economist point of view, in terms of managing the fiscal budget. Even Chidambaram has given her good marks for that. So let's give it to the lady. Amen.
So of course, no budget. I was looking at it in the light of Delhi elections, and you are
No, no,
right.
no. I don't think even I don't think. Uh, See, many opposition parties are insinuating that, but then they are fair. It's their right.
Absolutely. So, talking about the right of political parties, and we'll have different areas, but let's begin with Congress. Aam Aadmi Party's debacle and the infight of the coalition parties, and especially between uh, very, very nasty statements coming for Congress from Aam Aadmi Party and for Aam Aadmi Party from Congress. So the love was not just lost, it went miles away from both
Right,
parties. And
right.
as the gentleman from Jammu and Kashmir tweeted, "Aur karo ladai, aur kare ladai."
That was good actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you see the role? I think in your article published and received very well, you make a point that even if there was no infight between Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, still it wouldn't have mattered much. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, when I was doing my PhD thesis, I realized that there is no substitute for primary research. You can second guess things, and you can have the benefit of hindsight now, but to predict something you need to do primary research. Let's look at the birth of Aam Aadmi Party. The genesis of Aam Aadmi Party lies in the kind of huge unrest among people of Delhi against Congress Party. So, Congress Party and Aam Aadmi Party are antithesis to one another. In fact, if you ask me, although it gobbled up most of the votes of Congress Party in 2013 when the agitation started, it also took away a lot of votes from Bharatiya Janata Party. You know, if you see between 2013 and 2015, there was a sudden surge in the vote share of BJP. So some voters came back. See, what happens is Aam Aadmi Party started a brilliant new blitzkrieg when they said we are going to change the polity. We are going to change the very nature politics is concerned. So for somebody like me who has been a diehard supporter of Jansangh, since my school days, we also voted for Aam Aadmi Party. So much was the pull and razzmatazz and charisma of Arvind Kejriwal. So it is not that he took away voters only of Congress Party. He took away voters of BJP also, at least 6-7% of voters. Second thing I want to tell you that we tend to always forget that just like every aeroplane has a black box, every voter has a black box in his mind to decipher why he is voting, when he's voting. It's possible that wife and husband go together to vote, and the wife promises husband that she's going to vote for X, and husband promises he's going to vote for X too. Both of them could vote for Y. And when they come out, they can laugh. People of India, the poor man of India, the student of India, the intellectual of India, the old man of India, they are fiercely independent. They cannot be cowed down by, by your sheer brilliance all the time. So people keep changing. So how do you know that people who voted for Congress would have voted for Aam Aadmi Party? See, I throw a challenge. Let me make a proposition that the people who voted for Congress in the event of a Congress and Aam Aadmi Party combined combined coalition, they would have voted for Nota, or they would have voted for a third party or a fourth party. Or you see, and how do you know that somebody who's a Congress voter but who's not a committed Congress voter? How do you know he was not swayed away by the budget?
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, because we will be able to cover a couple of
Right.
more points, starting with the way Arvind Kejriwal, after he came out of jail, started his campaign. There was sometimes reference leading me to conclude that he's seeking his innocence of not being any party to any criminal act through vote from the public. And I don't remember exact words, but what it meant was if he's voted to power, that means he is clean. That means public is giving him a certificate that you are innocent. Now, you look at it now, does it mean that public has voted and given a certificate that you are dishonest?
That is what it means. But if you extend the logic which he gave, but of course, now that now that something which has happened, he had not expected that to happen. He will, of course, backtrack. He will, of course, backtrack. But the fact is, see, politicians, some politicians who are naive, they are so supremely confident about their invincibility that they fall flat. This should not
हम्म,
happen. See, he's saying that Mr. Modi ji, आपको दूसरा जन्म लेना पड़ेगा मुझे हटा. See,
हराने के लिए।
this kind of a arrogance is
हाँ,
best kept at bay. The
या,
voter of India is very sharp. He is very, see. Uh, I had also not predicted that Kejriwal will lose his seat in that triangular contest. So it has also come as a huge surprise that he lost that seat, and he lost by around 2,000 4,000 some votes. But let's understand why was there. I had not expected people to be so much angry with Kejriwal for the alleged liquor scam or for the Sheesh Mahal, but it looks like I was wrong. People were massively agitated after the elections were over, after the results were out. People have been saying why I did not vote this time for Kejriwal. And you talk to the auto drivers, which is supposed to be the core constituency of Arvind Kejriwal, they say we did not vote for the man because of Sheesh Mahal. So my initial assessment that if Modi is cast in titanium, this guy is Teflon coated, was wrong. His arrogance got better of him. People really see understand the way Kejriwal has started dressing up of late. He's wearing the jackets, and he can wear it, Gant jackets or some other branded jackets which are for 20,000 bucks. Even I, who have been in corporate, I will think twice before buying that jacket. So suddenly, from a shirt which was 200 rupees and two size loose, you start to wear a Gant jacket, or you start to wear a jacket which is 20,000 bucks, and a brand prominently displayed. And then there were videos of his former friends who are now his detractors, when they came out and said that Kejriwal gave an aura of being honest, but he was not so honest. So this is the time of social media. So one thing adds up to another, and it leads to something.
yeah.
So
So the whole Aam Aadmi Party is it sitting on Arvind Kejriwal, or there are other important leaders that may pull it through? Let's talk about the ex-CM now after Arvind Kejriwal. Atishi was running Delhi as CM. She has won. Then Amanullah Khan, who has a very notorious image, but he won with pretty good margin overall.
right, right.
There are a few other voices also, and percentage-wise also, Aam Aadmi Party has not done that bad as is appearing through 22 seats shrinking of Aam Aadmi Party. So, talk to about us about this. Do you see a future of Aam Aadmi Party? And we will also have to see whether, if he has lost, whether the party members would continue to accept him with the same respect and authority as he have had so far.
It's a very tough question, Ashokji. It's a very, very tough question to answer, because there are two things. First is that Arvind Kejriwal just happened to be there when public was craving for an alternative kind of a politics. So he was just there,
Corruption free space.
corruption free, so it was just situational kind of a leadership. In the theories of leadership, there are two very popular leadership theories. One is called the trait theory, which says that the leaders possess some traits which make them very, very famous, and which make people drive to them in droves. So trait theory. And the other is situational leadership theory, that it is the situation which creates leaders. If you see, there have been leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan who did not have the magnetism of, let us say, Indira Gandhi or Narendra Modi. But the entire nation rallied behind Jayaprakash, the Loknayak Jayaprakash ji, in 1977, and he inflicted a crushing defeat upon the charismatic Indira Gandhi. So, in case of Arvind Kejriwal, he is not even one tenth as intellectual as Jayaprakash ji. See, he may be an IITian, that does not make him an intellectual. He is an expedient. His politics is that of expediency. So I think that he has been able to grab every lever of power within Aam Aadmi Party. I personally think he controls the Aam Aadmi Party. However, there is going to be some kind of a resentment. People will try to talk about why he is not the guy to lead. Because after all, losing your own seat from New Delhi constituency is not a small thing. It is not a small thing. It's a very huge thing. So I personally think there will be, and already there are people. We have seen that Atishi who was dancing away to glory, even though all her colleagues had fallen by the wayside, and the way she was celebrating, I thought it was a bit crass. I thought it was not in order. So people have ambition. There is Sanjay Singh who definitely has ambition. But Kailash Gehlot is no longer with them. Manish Sisodia, unfortunately, himself has lost. Okay. So the only guy who's left is Gopal Rai. Gopal Rai, who's an unassuming character and who does not have a aura of arrogance and haughtiness about him, he has won from Shakur Basti seat. I think the Shakur Basti seat. So the first question is, who will be the leader of opposition in the Delhi Assembly? So
We
that
will
will give us an answer. So we will start to answer from
Yeah,
there.
Sudhir, let's go towards BJP now. Of
Yeah.
course, let's also look at these results in the light of the consolidation of the Modi brand, because there was very important speech by Prime Minister Modi during the election campaign, where the kind of phrases which he came up with and the way he articulated about the role which Aam Aadmi Party has played, and in particular the reference of Sheesh Mahal, etc., etc. I think most of us are pretty much have heard all these things so many times. We want to run away from it. We want to a different space. But do you see that space coming soon, and how it will work on overall strength of BJP and Prime Minister Modi?
See, Prime Minister Modi's brand has certainly been rejuvenated. If you see in Maharashtra and in Haryana and Maharashtra election, his name was not in the forefront. But you have to understand that in Maharashtra they had a very good, popular, and a big leader like Devendra Fadnavis, who could have been projected. Okay, and in Haryana, since they had changed the incumbent just before election, so his name had to be on the center stage, and they were playing the backward, they were leveraging their backward caste emphasis in Haryana elections. But in Delhi, there is a vacuum of leadership. That is why, as a strategic ploy, Narendra Modi's brand had to be put forth. See, make no mistake, BJP is not a one-man party. BJP is blessed to have a very charismatic leader who can, he's like the Arjun and Bhim combined, Like at least in Mahabharata, there were two great warriors. One was Arjun and Bhim, both equals. So, so think of Modi as Arjun and Bhim combined into one. He can, so it would become a very powerful kind of a warrior. The one
Mhm.
who's the best archer and one who's the strongest man with a mace in hand. So that is what Modi is. But the BJP's think tank, it does not use the brand. It was guilty of using the brand a bit too often, and thereby kind of giving a fatigue factor to the brand. But by keeping that brand intact, not using it profusely in the Maharashtra and Haryana elections, and then coming back and juxtaposing him in the Delhi politics was a brilliant move. So BJP is about brilliant strategy, outstanding tactical planning, and brilliant execution of the tactics. It's not just about Modi. Modi, of course, as I told you, he's the greatest warrior of BJP that it has.
Mhm.
But the party has a think tank also. Ashokji, I also want to highlight here. Let's not forget the role played by RSS in Delhi elections. BJP was the only party where people were going from booth to booth. In fact, in Patiala constituency where I voted, I found the booth of only RSS people there. There was no booth of Aam Aadmi Party. Congress Party was not even visible within miles. So the work done by the BJP Karyakarta, and they had that hunger this time. They had not won Delhi for 27 years. So the hungrier you are, I mean, the harder you work. So that's my take, you know.
So, talking about hunger as a source of passion for political parties, where do you put Congress?
Oh, Congress is in bad shape, really. Congress is in very, very, very bad shape. First of all, you know, let's think of the leaders. Some of the
Yeah,
leaders who were
sorry,
ruling.
sorry to interrupt. The way you said it, that there should be very deep hunger in the Congress party. So it should not be in the bad shape. From zero, they have to kind of prove that they exist. Do you see that sort of fervor in the Congress circuit?
Unfortunately, even though they are at such depths, there seems to be complete lack of hunger to rise from the ashes. That is what symbolizes the campaign of, see, it's like this: a leader who's considered close to the Gandhi family, a leader who's considered to be young, dynamic, like Alka Lamba, she did not want to contest. So if somebody like Alka Lamba, who has been in this system, who started as a DUSU president or vice president, I don't remember now, who's a good speaker, who's a hard worker, okay, if she's not she's not wanting to contest elections, so what does it speak about the overall morale of the party? And yet they got some 5-6% vote, which is okay. But for now it looks that uh, Congress and Delhi politics are far removed from one another. They don't have the leadership. Like, even you can argue that even BJP did not have a single 1 point leadership, but BJP had collective leadership. You can name a few people in BJP, right from Vijender Gupta to Saab Singh Verma's son Pravesh
Pravesh.
Verma, and then Basuri Swaraj is there. Then Vijender Goyal, Vijay Goyal, of course, is taking a backseat, but he's working behind the scenes. So there are Manoj Tiwari is there. Then Smriti Irani has been working in the background. She has been working hard on this election and campaign. So there are leaders, and see, when you have people, as I said, the think tank had kind of gingered the BJP guys to go and fight it out. Such kind of a missionary zeal was missing from the Congress camp. I don't know if Congress actually wants to come back to power. That's the question. So there was no campaign, there was no door to door, so there were no rallies. So I
Did
don't.
you hear any significant statement by Rahul Gandhi after Delhi election, which you feel reflected the future strategy of Congress?
See, after Delhi election, when the results were being announced, he was talking of Maharashtra elections. I was very surprised. Maharashtra elections have been done and dusted. The government is already functioning there, and now you are coming to us with a narrative that so many electorate numbers should have been there, so many were added. Now they will go to Bihar. I don't know. It was very, very disjointed, and I could not comprehend what he said. I could not comprehend what he said. And in any case, he can anytime turn around and say that I am not the Congress chief. It is Khadgeji. So fortunately, he has not said that. But in this campaign, I thought Priyanka Gandhi was more kind of visible and vocal, and in the few pockets. Unfortunately, wherever she campaigned, they lost their deposits. But that's another story.
Yeah. So let me move to another story, literally, which is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to USA in Trump 2.0 on his invitation. And how do you see, or what is the likely important discussion that may trickle down and have some impact for common consumers or common people in India as well as USA?
See, first of all, that Prime Minister Modi was invited, and it was a very warm invite from the new regime in USA, is not something which has surprised me. India is the largest democracy, it is the most vibrant democracy. It has established its credential as the most organized democracy, should I say, since independence, except for the brief hiatus when there was emergency. America, as you know, is the oldest democracy. They say it is the mother of all democracies. And in spite of all that happened in the last elections, America is a shining example of how democracy and progress can go hand in hand. I mean, they have a per capita GDP of more than $65,000, and the country is it is so openly democratic. So it is but natural that two ideologies which thrive on democracy will be attracted to each other. Secondly, you have to understand that Prime Minister Modi's party, which is Bharatiya Janata Party, believes in liberalization and globalization. It believes that India in isolation cannot thrive as an economic power. We are the biggest exporter of IT software to the world. In fact, we are exporting more software than Saudi Arabia is exporting petroleum products in terms of the revenue generated. So we are a huge, we are a huge superpower when it comes to IT exports. And our biggest market is America. So India has keen interest in America, and as a good prime minister, as a good see what is prime minister if he is not a CEO for the country? So for a CEO of a country, when the regime has changed, a new CEO has come in in the biggest market. America is the biggest market for India. So think of a CEO, he needs to go to a customer. So in this case, a partner country. So I feel there will be a lot of issues will be discussed. First of all, there will be great amount of bonhomie between the two. They're meeting after a long time. Last time when Biden was the president and Modi had gone, so he was kind of hinted not to meet Trump. So,
I
so he
remember
would
that.
go,
Yeah.
yeah, he was asked by Biden. So, a visiting prime minister could not have met the ex-president unless it was allowed by this. So it's a protocol. So there will be, it would be like two friends sitting together, discussing, exchanging notes. And I am sure that, Modi will try to assess and gauge how aggressive Trump is in terms of all the new things which he is announcing. See, he's running a huge Doge program in which he wants to downsize the bureaucracy. So there are some learnings from there, and there will be exchange of ideas, and of course there will be some kind of negotiation about the tariffs. So
I think I
we
also feel, yeah, sorry for some folks who go on H1B, etc. There'll be few concessional or sort of convenient ways that would come up, is my gut telling me, and based on what I heard from Prime Minister Modi earlier, few things which were hinted. But overall, I kind of expect both leaders are sort of good source for news media, and they come up with not just catchy phrases, but there are some innovative ideas. So I look forward to potential significant outcome from this visit. Sudhir, it's such a pleasure talking to you. In 30 seconds, if you say something as you reside in New Delhi, from the new government, one point that you would like them to address on priority,
You mean the Delhi government?
Delhi government.
See, the first thing which they have to do is all the promises they have to made. They have to ensure that they carry out that promises. See, giving a dole of 2,500 rupees is not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But the real big deal is attacking pollution and cleansing Yamuna. They must start to work on that from day one. So
Wonderful.
this will
On
be
that
my
note,
sincere.
yeah. On that note, clean Yamuna note, I thank Dr. Sudhir Bisht once again. We talked about Delhi election results, its impact and implications, and it was such not just informative but insightful conversation. So once again, with lots of good wishes to you, sir. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
thanks to all of you
Good day.
for joining us. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.